You're watching WEAR News, the morning current on WFGX.
And good Friday morning to you, and welcome to the Morning Current. So glad you're here. I'm Jared Willits.
I'm Laura Hussey. With the warmer temperatures, you may be thinking about some outside time this weekend, not to mention Pensacon, right? Meteorologist Brooke Richardson, let's bring you in and talk about the back and forth, I guess, on the weekend.
Yeah, and we are going to have scattered showers. That's what we're going to see both today and tomorrow. Right now, we do have that around. We do have some of us looking at some rain, others just looking at some clouds. You can see right now over our Okaloosa Island camera, quite dark this morning. It does look like we still have a few of those showers this morning. We do have 60s and 70s right now. It's very warm. We're seeing a lot of moisture. It's very humid. This is going to lead to just some of those pop-up showers as you head through the next couple of days today and tomorrow. Winds are still fairly calm. We're not dealing with too much of a breeze at about 3 to 5 miles an hour. You can see where those showers are right now. Seeing a bit of a break now in Pensacola, and that's going to be the case throughout the day today. You'll have periods of just cloudy weather, and then you'll have some showers move in as well. So you want to have the umbrella with you just in case. You could see a nice stretch without the rain, but we will still have a lot of that moisture that could lead to some showers later on. Heading out the door today, temperatures are going to warm up nicely. We are starting off already in the 70s, quickly getting into those upper 70s for your afternoon. Tonight, temperatures drop back into the 70s and the 60s as you go into those overnight lows.
Let's get a quick look outside and check on the traffic situation. The interstate near Pine Forest Road this morning. No problems there. No problems anywhere this morning.
More details are coming out now about the moments before a fatal crash on Scenic Highway that killed 2 people.
60-year-old Wayne Dines of Spring Hill, Florida, faces 2 counts of DUI manslaughter and 1 charge of DUI crash involving serious bodily injury.
The crash was January 30th, about 5:24 in the evening. About 30 minutes earlier, there was a 911 call. The caller said Dines was asleep at the wheel.
He's not moving. He's got his head down like something's really wrong. He's drooling all down his mouth.
EMS and Escambia deputies responded. The sheriff's office says deputies did not have any smell of alcohol, and the paramedic on the scene says Dines was answering all of her questions correctly and was conscious and alert when she got there.
The sheriff's office says he was, quote, medically evaluated and cleared by EMS. But in a statement from the county, they said EMS paramedics, quote, do not perform medical clearances that they add would require an evaluation by a physician.
Public Safety Director Eric Gillimore says paramedic checked Dines' vitals and there are no signs of medical impairments.
At that point, I mean, she's done her evaluation on what she can perceive, and everything's checking off. But there wasn't anything that gave her any indication that there was an issue or a medical issue going on with this particular individual.
16 minutes after that stop, police say Dines' car crossed the center line on Scenic Highway near Rothschild, collided with another car. 2 people died. Dines arrested in Spring Hill, awaiting extradition to Pensacola.
Now, toxicology results led to his arrest. Police say Dines had a significant amount of drugs in his system, and he should not have been behind the wheel.
A lot of people sharing their thoughts on our social media, close to 80 comments on our post following this story. Let's
start with Ashley. The paramedic on that scene should have absolutely picked up on the fact that he was on sedatives.
Randall writes in part, there should never be a next time in situations like this, but maybe next time they'll be at least make a person call a ride.
And Anthony says this is such a terrible situation. Accountability should be had, and let's not forget the man who actually made this choice.
It's a big issue, customary use, and it's back in the spotlight now.
It's been fought out on different beaches across Florida. Yesterday, Escambia County commissioners talked about whether they should open access to the public on certain parts of Perdido Key.
Well, the public on Perdido Key, there's the other option, would be leaving the beach access to the private property owners who argue they bought the land, therefore. Now, last year, Governor DeSantis signed SB 1622. That would give, or did give, local governments the authority to regulate customary use.
Now, the property owners want commissioners to stand for what they say are their rights. Commissioner Steve Stroberger has repeatedly raised concern about litigation if customary use is approved.
All the compromising seems to have to happen on that side of the room. Okay.
because they're the ones who own the property. The only investment anyone has on this side of the room is T-shirts.
That is not so. I live on Perdido Key. How dare you?
I don't know whether it's your ignorance or your arrogance to make statements that are so ridiculous that nobody has any investment. I'll be here long after your butt is off that dais.
Commissioner Strohberger informed the board that Public Access 1 on Perdido could very well close to the public, while other areas elsewhere on the beach would be offered more access.
At the moment, the commission is somewhat split. Commissioners Stephen Barry and Luman May showed support for customary use. Ashley Hoffberger shared Strohberger's concern over possible litigation threatened by the owners of the condos.
Earlier this month, when we first started coverage of the story, we asked you what you think. Should all beaches be made public? 91% said yes, 9% said no.
Let's move from controversy to fun, shall we?
Pensacon, baby, it is on. The official start time is just a few hours away now, but the whole city is in on the excitement. The hub of it all, the con, is at the Pensacola Bay Center. WEAR's Aria Circa is live there now to tell us more about the preps. Good morning.
Good morning. I feel like the Pensacola Bay Center is finally starting to come alive. We've got some volunteers and staff over here working up a storm, trying to get everything prepared for what's going to happen today and throughout the weekend. It's been all preparation and setup. Vendors were out here yesterday setting up their exhibits and stores. Pensacon staff and volunteers have been all over the city getting all of the different event spaces ready for the fans to come in. Pensacon also partnered with businesses. Some have themed experiences, but they've really tried to lean into Palafox, even offering discounts to people that are coming down to Pensacon attendees so that it can push them down to the Palafox area.
We're trying to drive traffic to all of those businesses so they can experience a little bit of a bump from Pensacon and hopefully help them through the construction.
Vendors will be coming back this morning. There are probably some of them are already on their way or waking up out of their hotel rooms to make sure everything is perfect for when the fans finally walk in. The largest vendor here, Toink Toys, they're probably already inside. They told me that they've been setting up since Wednesday and will be putting the final touches up until the very last minute. Doors open at 12:30, but I've heard that fans will start lining up in costume way ahead of time to make sure they're one of the first ones inside. Laura, Jared?
All right, can't wait.
Yeah, a lot of fun, certainly. And a few days ago, we asked you if you plan on attending Pensacon. Here are your numbers. 19% said yes, 81% said no, but it'd be a lot of fun for 19.
Oh, heck yeah, that 19% is a lot of folks. And if you want more details around Pensacon, take out your phone, scan that QR code right there. It will take you to the specific story on our website, weartv.com.
What's going on in your world? Let us know with pictures and videos. You can text WEAR-TV to 95577 or chime in from our website.
And straight ahead, former Prince Andrew arrested and released, where the investigation stands now and what the royal family has to say.
And the head of NASA blasting Boeing and their own managers after that failed Starliner flight. How they classified that failure. Interesting. On the way.
It is 7:08. I think that is time to have some delicious, refreshing coffee.
I agree.
Coffee break. 11 minutes after 7 now, the co-executors of Jeffrey Epstein's estate have agreed to settle a class action lawsuit.
Dane and Richard Kahn served as Epstein's personal attorneys and accountant. They're accused of facilitation, participation, and concealment of Epstein's illegal conduct for their own financial gain. Now, the lawsuit was filed by a survivor of Epstein's abuse for at least $25 million.
And that settlement will be paid. They are going to use some of the remaining assets in Jeffrey Epstein's estate rather than indirectly paid by Dane and Kahn. The proposed settlement, which a federal judge will have to approve, does not include an admission of wrongdoing.
To be eligible for the settlement, victims would agree to release any future claims, also cannot have received any prior settlement from the Epstein estate or the Epstein Victims Compensation Fund.
And this week, probably the highest example of the fallout from the whole Epstein scandal. Overnight, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor returned home after his arrest on suspicion of misconduct in public office.
He was arrested at the king's private estate. Sources say the monarch was given no advance notice. King not answering questions after Andrew's arrest, rather releasing a statement, and I quote, "What now follows is the full, fair, and proper process."
The king also pledging that authorities will have his full and wholehearted support and cooperation. This all follows the documents which were finally released by the United States Department of Justice after public outcry and the passage of legislation. It details communications between Andrew and Jeffrey Epstein in those 3 million documents. That's one of the things that came out. Andrew is still under investigation, but he has not been charged and previously denied any wrongdoing.
Now, if he winds up being convicted, misconduct in a public office carries a maximum sentence of life in prison.
In other matters, we could soon know a lot more about there really are aliens from outer space or not.
President Trump overnight said he will direct the Pentagon and other relevant agencies to begin releasing documents related to alien extraterrestrial life. This follows that recent comment from former President Obama when he was asked about aliens, said, quote, "They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in Area 51. He later walked back those comments, saying, "I saw no evidence during my presidency that extraterrestrials really have made any contact with us."
Still, President Trump says Obama crossed a line with his comments. Trump says his order to release the documents was in response to, quote, "tremendous interest in the subject."
Well, maybe they've uncovered some new DNA evidence that does not belong to Nancy Guthrie during the search, another search of her home.
We've been watching this all week. The New York Post is citing an anonymous source who says it's not clear what this evidence is, nor when it was discovered, or whether it's been shared with the FBI.
This comes as the search for Nancy Guthrie enters week number 3. Authorities say they have hope Guthrie is still alive, says there's no evidence that she's not. Investigators are now comparing that DNA they collected to genetic databases to piece together a family tree that may point to a suspect.
This morning, we're learning that the mishap that left 2 NASA astronauts stranded in space for nearly a year was more serious than initially believed.
Here we go. NASA's new administrator criticizing the agency itself and Boeing for the potentially disastrous maiden flight of Boeing Starliner in 2024. Supposed to be an 8-day stay at the space station for Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams. Well, thruster problems nearly prevented them from even reaching the station, and once they got there, they were stranded for more than 9 months.
This NASA review upgrades the seriousness of that incident to a Type A mishap. That would be the same category as the Columbia and Challenger shuttle disasters. The review claims internal pressure to keep Boeing on track led managers to overlook the thruster failures, which nearly ended in catastrophe.
In a statement, Boeing says, quote, "It made substantial progress or corrective actions for technical challenges that we encountered."
Oh my gosh, in the Great Plains today, firefighters continue such a huge battle. More than a dozen wildfires burning tens of thousands of acres and forcing evacuations all over the place.
The largest of them all is the Ranger Road mega fire, started Tuesday in Oklahoma, spread into southern Kansas, burned an area they say about twice the size of Chicago. Another fire in Woodward, Oklahoma, destroying a lot of structures. Since Tuesday, other blazes have broken out in the region, including 2 in the Texas Panhandle, the Lavender and the 8 Ball fires. Weather conditions, they say, are complicating things to a high degree.
This is really probably my favorite story of the day. As you know, Brooke, Jared, and I are kind of obsessed with the trades right now and getting young people into them. A local automotive tech grad is taking his talents to Daytona.
It's a great story. Jackson Sherry he took part in the Rolex 24 at the Daytona International Speedway. How'd he get there, Laura?
Well, it all started out at Okaloosa Technical College. He's a Niceville High School grad, but he was going to OTC, also getting his automotive certifications, and ultimately invited to intern with Lone Star Racing, and that was after being accepted into a Spark program.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
He's a graduate again of NHS, and he had a great time at Daytona. Love that photo, and his career is just beginning. He's got a certification. Congratulations, Jackson Sherry.
No kidding. You got to learn how to do something these days.
I know. This is a picture of our weekend, Brooke, or just parts of it?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a mixed bag. We're going to have clouds. We're going to have some rain as well. So just something to keep in mind as you are making your way out and about today. We will be dealing with some showers today. It is going to be periods of rain, periods of clouds. That's what you're going to be dealing with, not just today, but tomorrow as well. So just keep that in mind. You're not going to be seeing rain all day, but you will want the umbrella just in case. Right now, we're seeing the rain over Okaloosa Island. Pensacola, we're actually seeing a bit of a break. So it's going to depend on where you are, whether you'll see that rain or not. So here's a look at the mugginess that you're going to be feeling. This is part of the reason we're seeing the rain. We're seeing high humidity levels, so that is going to keep that moisture around for today and tomorrow. Changes by Sunday. That's going to be because of a cold front that does move in. We are going to be looking at that drier air move in with that, and it does cool us off, and it does kick that rain chance out for us by Sunday. Now, what we can expect for today, you can see where that rain is right now, just over that Okaloosa Island camera. Basically, we do still have some coastal light showers, but we are starting to see a break for Pensacola, and we will have the clouds around behind the rain. Now, you will be still seeing periods of rain mixed in with periods of clouds, so you're just going to be seeing it on and off today. It is going to be looking very isolated for this afternoon. Heading into Saturday, we'll see another chance of some rain. Same thing. It's going to be periods of rain followed by periods of clouds. Looking like the best chance of rain on Saturday comes later into the day. After about 3 p.m., we'll be looking at those showers moving in. Some heavier pockets of rain possible. Not looking too likely here, though, and you can see it does move out by the time you hit about 10 o'clock on that Saturday. Sunday forecast looking nice. We're going to be seeing some sunshine. It does come with some breezy conditions, so it's going to get very windy. Temperatures will cool off with this, and you'll notice those temperatures going from the 70s into the 50s. You'll feel a big cool down by Sunday night, and we will wake up in the 30s by Monday morning. Still looking at that sunshine note, though, clear skies heading into the beginning of next week. Temperature-wise right now, upper 60s, low 70s. We are going to be seeing highs in the upper 70s to low 80s for today, so it is going to be a warm one. We do have your temperatures dropping after this, around 78 degrees the next couple of days. 50s by the time you hit Sunday, Monday around 55 degrees, Tuesday 56. Now we do have temperatures warming up behind that. We'll get into the 60s again by Wednesday, and then by Thursday back in the 70s. And we'll actually go from that little bit of a cool stretch into above average temperatures again by the end of next week. So temperatures are warming up. Let's take a look at your Sea-to Marine forecast. We do have 2 to 3 feet for the Gulf. Winds are out of the west-southwest at about 10 knots for today. And we do have your yellow flags flying, with a good chance we will keep those yellow flags as we go throughout your day today. Let's get you through your week ahead. We do have your higher rain chances today and tomorrow. Make sure you have the umbrella with you. We'll have clouds mixed in with the rain. By the time you hit Sunday, we'll have sunshine. Temperatures will be in the 50s, a little bit cooler the next few days, going from Sunday through Tuesday. We'll warm back up by Wednesday.
The entertainment world mourning the loss of Eric Dane, gone at 53. We'll have more about his diagnosis and battle with ALS.
Actor Eric Dane has died less than a year after announcing his ALS diagnosis. I know I was waking up to the news this morning and I was like, oh no.
That is so sad. Best known for his long-running role as Dr. Mark Sloan on Grey's Anatomy, but also on the HBO hit Euphoria.
He had a long career. Saved by the Bell years ago, The Wonder Years, Roseanne. Also was in Marley and Me, which is a great movie, The X-Men Last Stand, and more.
Yeah, he did reveal his ALS diagnosis in April of last year, incurable neurological disorder. And in June of last year, he revealed the right side of his body had stopped working, and he is survived by his 2 daughters. He was 53.
Lots of research going into that after the ice bucket challenge.
Yeah, they really don't know. They think there's some
ago.
Genetic component, maybe some environmental stuff. They really haven't got to figure it out
Yeah,
yet.
certainly prayers for them to keep making progress there. Let's switch it up. This is going to be fun. Pensacola Cinema Art is screening all of the Oscar-nominated short films this weekend, so you could be in a very informed movie-going conversation.
They will show the films from all the categories, animation, live action, short documentary, at the SCI building on West Guard Street downtown. Showings from today through Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Yeah, admissions is $10. It's going to be cash at the door only, so make sure you bring your cash, and parking is at SCI. SCI is free.
Chime In is sponsored by Pensacola Habitat for Humanity.
Good morning, and thank you to Diane Selby. This is entitled Beautiful Sunset Looking Through the Trees.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And this is from Aretha. Welcome, enjoying life. Oh, that looks so nice out there.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, that's a great shot. Thank you, Arnitha. And send your pictures in. We love to share them on Chime In.
It could happen. They're talking possible military action maybe as soon as this weekend in Iran. We'll take a look at the possibility here in just a second. Well, the U.S. military could maybe strike Iran early as this weekend. The president apparently hasn't made up a final decision yet.
As you know, the U.S. military has been building up assets in the Middle East, and the U.S. and Iran have been in negotiations over that country's nuclear program. As
reported by CNN, satellite images show Iran preparing for a strike, attempting to strengthen defenses of nuclear facilities with concrete and dirt. And now the UK, United Kingdom, says it'll not let the U.S. use any of their bases for a strike against Iran.
Iran saying if the U.S. does strike, they will target U.S. assets and personnel in the region. And the U.S. does have a military presence in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE. President Trump says the decision will be made in 10 to 15 days.
And the president's newly formed Peace Board, the Board of Peace, had their first meeting.
This is part of Trump's 20-point peace plan to end Israel's war in Gaza. Officials for nearly 50 countries in attendance. 27 countries have officially joined this Board of Peace, 9 pledging $7 billion to reconstruct the largely wiped out area of Gaza.
The U.S. pledging $10 billion. Experts estimate it'll take more like $70 billion to rebuild Gaza. Countries also expected to commit thousands of personnel and police officers, or forces really, to stabilize the territory.
Bringing it back here to Florida, the Board of Immigration Enforcement here is set to approve $53 million in funding to local law enforcement agencies. The Escambia County Sheriff's Office is asking for $5.9 million of those dollars.
That is the third largest request among all state law enforcement agencies involved. Escambia County's already got nearly $900 grand in state immigration money.
Sheriff Chip Simmons says if they get it, this money will go toward things like radios, body camera data storage, and license plate readers for deputies. He says the money for this equipment would take years, if not decades, to get from any other donor.
All of that totals up to close to $5 million, and if the money is available, we felt like we would save the taxpayer some dollars and try to get that money, and we're waiting to see if we've been approved.
Okay, so why request it from the Immigration Enforcement Board?
Because that's what it's available for.
Say this is kind of less about ICE and more just about a place to get the money from.
I think you can't pinpoint one thing that we're going to do with this. Yeah, it is certainly going to help us with interoperability with our law enforcement partners, to include ICE. But I would say this is about taking advantage of an opportunity here at Escambia County Sheriff's Office to upgrade our radio system, upgrade our computer system, our infrastructure.
Immigration Board's executive director has already approved the sheriff's request, and Governor DeSantis will have the final say.
The Florida cabinet is set to talk about it at their meeting on Tuesday. Now, we also spoke to Derek Scott, who is the chair of the Escambia County Democratic Party. He says he believes the sheriff's priorities are in the wrong place.
So anything that stokes or elicits or helps to embody or embolden policies that create fear and division undermine the stability of the community, of families, and it disrupts the workforce that our local economy depends on. We should be investing in resources that prevent crime, support youth, address mental health, address substance abuse, and strengthen community partnerships.
Since the State Board of Immigration Enforcement was created last year, they've granted all funding requests.
On the subject of immigration enforcement, there is a new poll from ABC News, Washington Post, and Ipsos. It shows Americans oppose ICE tactics in immigration law enforcement by a margin of around 2-1. The percentages on your screen there specifically. What do you think? Scan the QR code. And this is our local numbers as opposed to that national poll. Do you approve of ICE's tactics when enforcing immigration law?
It is 7:32 on the Morning Current. We're getting ready for a weekend, a bigger weekend than normal, I think, with Pensacon.
Yeah, and the good news about Pensacon is the bulk of the activities are inside. If you're dodging some raindrops, meteorologist Brooke Richardson, that may be part of the offing, right?
Yeah, and we are going to be looking at some rain as we head into your day today. It's going to be on and off. We will have some clouds mixed in with some rain. We're going to be looking at some of those light showers. Right now, we do have some of that rain over Okaloosa Island camera. That's going to be where we have most of the rain now. It has moved out of Pensacola, so some good news if you are heading, trying to get in line early. We do have your temperatures in the 70s and the 60s right now, so it is quite warm. It's going to stay warm throughout your day today. Your winds are going to be anywhere from 3 to about 6 miles an hour out of the south. Fairly light winds today. You can see where we do have that light rain around. It is looking fairly light. We do have some heavier pockets briefly. Going to be closer to Fort Walton Beach. It's not going to last long. And you can see we could see a nice little break after this moves out. We're still going to have some rain around, though. We do have a lot of moisture out there, so we're going to be looking at a few breaks with some clouds. We'll have a little bit of some rain move in, so that's going to be your afternoon forecast. Highs will still stay warm. We'll stay in the mid to upper 70s for those highs.
Check it out, your Friday morning drive. Just feels better on Friday, doesn't it? I-110 at airport showing us no problems. Actually, traffic moving smoothly and still fairly light at 7:33.
There is a bit more fallout from last month's student walkouts in Escambia County.
The walkouts were part of a nationwide protest against immigration enforcement tactics. Several students were given 3-day in-school suspensions. Others say some seniors lost their privileges to participate in graduation and prom.
We are still waiting for confirmation from the district on the exact punishment students did receive. Now, the school board met for the first time this week since the protest in late January. Students there say their First Amendment rights have been violated.
We wanted to know what you think. Should the students have been punished for walking out in protest? 79% said yes, 21% said no.
Well, apparently, we're not willing to pay a whole lot to support AI data centers here, there, and everywhere.
Massive facilities they are, full of computer servers, and they suck up a lot of power and a lot of water. They're mostly used to power AI models and other high-tech services. MIT estimates data centers will account for 21% of global energy demand by just the year 2030.
Now, from a poll by Politico, they say that 62% of voters say they still support the data center in their area, even if their power bills increase by maybe $5. 52% were still on board with an increase in their power bill of maybe $10.
Interesting. A majority of voters in this poll did not oppose data centers until the increase in their monthly power bills hit $25.
We asked for your thoughts, and it seems people in our neck of the world feel much stronger about the whole thing. We asked you, would you support a data center in our area?
100% said no, thank you.
How about it? Team USA rocking up the gold. The ladies making history.
And America's Next Top Model is out with a docu-series. There is some criticism, some controversy, and so you know we're going to talk about it on the Morning Current.
But you also know, before we get to all that, we're taking just a moment, to enjoy the morning elixir that does so much for you.
Here's to a coffee break, everybody.
All right, the ladies of Team USA are racking up the medals and making history, and I like how Vanessa wore her Everyone Watches Women's Sports shirt in preparation.
U.S. men's hockey team takes on Slovakia this afternoon. The winner of that moves on, to the gold medal game.
Yeah, and then speed skater Jordan Stroll's gold medal streak came to an end yesterday. They had to settle for silver in the men's 150 meter. It has one more chance for a third gold medal tomorrow.
And then there's Jared's favorite, curling.
Curling is curling. I don't know why you don't like curling.
Go ahead. The U.S. women's curlers kept their championship hopes alive, beating Switzerland. The team's now facing off. The winner will advance to the gold medal game. Did
Curling
I say that right?
Gold, yeah.
It's currently 2-1 with Switzerland in the lead.
Because they have a lot more time to practice curling. Let's just be real. Okay, medal count officially.
Team USA in second overall, 27 medals total, 9 gold, 12 silver, 6 bronze. Norway has what they're calling a comfortable lead. 34 medals in total, 16 of those GOLD.
All right, fabulous medals, blah, blah, blah. Let's get to America's Next Top Model. Oh my gosh. This new documentary getting a lot of reaction online.
I guess the contestants, or the cast members, as I like to call them, were, the word abuse comes up. A lot of body shaming, things like that.
Yeah, back it up to the beginning.
Yeah, the show has been problematic for a while. You look at clips from back then. It was in 2003 that it started. It brought on young girls, gave them makeovers, taught them how to do model and how to navigate the industry. But that's not all that happened. It did go viral again during COVID because it didn't age well and it got a lot of criticism.
Interesting. They're talking about, as Jared said, issues like sexual harassment, body shaming, extreme makeovers, and questionable photo shoots.
Several models from the show say they've now met with California state legislators lobbying for legislation to protect reality show contestants.
Apparently Tyra Banks is getting a lot of criticism. Now, did you watch the show, Sam?
I haven't watched it. I want to watch it this weekend, but the show, it's pretty extreme what some of the girls did. It went from all to like dental work to girls, having to go completely just like shave their head. Like it was insane.
Yeah, so we will see. Could you legislate reality shows? Could you make them, I don't know if you could, but that is what it has come to this. So if you want to check out the docuseries, it is airing now.
I guess.
All right, check it out.
All of our stories from the Morning Current and WEAR News are available on our YouTube channel. Just go to youtube.com, search WEAR News, and all those stories are there for your review.
Stay with us. The FDA set to review Moderna's mRNA vaccine. You have some thoughts on that. The numbers come out.
All right, yesterday we talked about this, the FDA's reversal, this in regard to Moderna's mRNA vaccine.
The agency decided they would review the drug with some changes to Moderna's application. Initially, the FDA was not happy with the control tests in the clinical trials, so Moderna has agreed to more of those.
Now, if approved, the shot would be ready for the market by next flu season. It uses the same mRNA technology as in Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine.
So we asked you, do you trust the mRNA flu vaccine? And the results split right down the middle, 50-50.
Well, there's some new numbers out there going to be released today, expected to show that the U.S. economy slowed at the end of last year.
Economists are expecting an annualized growth rate of 2.5%. They say that is still solid, but it's a drop from that 4.4% we saw in the third quarter.
In the middle of all that holiday spending, credit card debt climbed and consumer sentiment is still kind of low. Inflation did cool a bit in January, but still above the Fed's target of 2%.
And the Fed has mysteriously eliminated an inflation target from their latest minutes, which is another conversation. However, the Fed did vote to hold interest rates steady at their most recent meeting in January.
We also talked about that proposition in California that would impose the one-time tax on the state's billionaires.
A one-time tax of 5% is what has been discussed. Advocates say it would help pay for the state's healthcare system. Governor Gavin Newsom has opposed state-level wealth taxes. He said overall that will hurt the economy.
Hundreds of thousands of signatures still needed before it hits the ballot. Lots of billionaires have left California in the meantime, many coming to the great state of Florida.
So we asked what you think. Should the rich have to pay higher taxes? And again, a 50-50 split.
I should mention that Steven Spielberg just left.
Okay, so we've had Bezos, we've had Sergey Brin, now Steven Spielberg. Welcome to Florida, guys.
But he says he's moving to New York just to be closer to family. It's not because of the billionaire tax.
Oh, well, he'll get taxed there too. Okay.
There we go.
Anyway, let's talk about candy. That's fact.
That's true.
Okay. Yesterday we told you about the big Hershey controversy, Brooke. It's quite disturbing, actually.
Yeah, you know, the grandson of the inventor is saying that Hershey's replacing milk chocolate with chocolate candy. He does say the peanut butter is replaced with peanut butter cream, and Hershey says it's only new products that require the recipe adjustments. But classics still use milk chocolate, Reese's peanut butter, classic cups, holiday shapes. But we did ask for your take when it comes to the products. Do you prefer products that use chocolate and peanut butter? Which is better?
Well, the results are in. 81% sticking with the real ingredients, the milk chocolate, the real peanut butter, classic Reese's, the pick. Now, 19% like the holiday shapes. Now, AJ likes those because she says they have more peanut butter in them. Nobody voted for the big cups.
Well, I do have one question.
What?
Do they still taste good?
Yeah.
They always taste good.
They always taste good.
Well, there you go. So what's the big deal?
Well, I'm so glad we got the candy discussion all solved for now, and everybody's hungry. Everybody's also getting ready for the weekend.
Yeah, and we do have some showers that we are tracking, and you can see that here over our Okaloosa Island camera. Now it does look like this is where we're seeing the bulk of the rain now. It is going to be South Okaloosa Island, or Okaloosa County, where we have some of those showers. You can see the rain moving on our lens there. It's just very humid. We have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere right now. It's going to feel muggy. We're going to see the clouds. If you're not seeing the rain, you'll see very cloudy skies. Same thing for Saturday. Now Saturday we will have a system move through, and that does drop that humidity level. We'll be looking at sunshine but cooler temperatures by Sunday. So let's take a look at your radar right now. You can see where we have some of those showers, some light showers starting to move into South Santa Rosa County. You'll just have periods with some of that rain, and we'll have clouds mixed in with that as well. So you'll just be dealing with a mixed bag today. You're going to want to have the umbrella just in case. You can see those showers just very isolated throughout the day. Heading into your Saturday, same thing. We could still see some of those light showers in the morning, afternoon, but your best chance of rain on Saturday actually comes pretty late, around 4 p.m. Those showers will start off. It's still going to be more isolated, but we could deal with some wet conditions to end your day on Saturday. That's along our cold front, and behind that we have cooler, drier weather moving in. We'll be looking at some sunshine starting Sunday, and we are going to be looking at some cooler weather with this. Let's talk about those temperatures, because right now we're in the 70s. Highs today upper 70s, so warming up quickly around 78 degrees. We're going to stay warm tomorrow. Cold front moves in with that rain, and then we'll be in the 50s. Now, those low 50s and 30s for lows are not going to last too long through Tuesday. By the time you hit Wednesday, we're actually increasing temperatures, and we will be looking warmer by the end of next week. Let's talk about your seatow marine forecast. We do have 2 to 3 feet for the Gulf. Winds out of the west-southwest at about 10 knots, and we do have your yellow flags flying with a good chance we will keep those yellow flags throughout your day. Let's get you through your week ahead. We do have those rain chances around today. We'll have scattered showers with clouds when you don't see the rain. We're going to be looking warmer today, cooler Sunday, and then you'll even see 30s as you wake up Monday morning. Temperatures rebounding into the upper 60s Wednesday.
A lot of people say they can spot an AI fake a mile away. Really? No. More on the way. Do you remember this line? Is it live or is it Memorex?
Oh my gosh, that's for those of us who were around at a certain date, but now it's real or it's AI, and certain people are really good at catching AI images online. Brooks, like the eagle eye, she can always tell.
It's texture right now, but once they hone in that texture, it's going to be less.
It's almost over. They did a survey, 125 people shown images of faces with obvious flaws, asked the participants if they were real or were they AI.
Yeah, most people were average at detecting AI. About a third were called super recognizers. But you know, they only perform better by a slim margin.
Yeah, one thing that was consistent, people were confident they'd be able to spot an AI face even if their performance didn't meet expectations. As AI generators improve, though, the obvious mistakes are becoming less common. You
know, and I think most people are just guessing. I don't think they're saying, okay, this, you know, 50-50, take a guess. I'll take the one on the left.
Yeah. I think it's more like what they said after the survey was it's not looking for flaws, but it's like looking for the absence of flaws. And I would say that I don't think I'm good at it, but that's what I look for, too much perfection.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I can see it, is textures.
Textures. All right, we're going to be right back real, right here. We have to come up with a code word or something, I guess.
Do you remember Tilly Norwood? They made her perfectly imperfect. That was the
We do have that rain that we're going to be seeing on and off as you go through your day today and heading into Saturday. Going into Sunday, we will be looking at temperatures cooling off as sunshine returns. We're going to be looking at cooler, drier air to start next week, and then as we head into the end of the week, we'll warm up.
I'll go for that. Pensacon weekend starts in a few hours in and outdoors, so it'll be all right, right?
Have a great costumey weekend and have a fantastic Friday. Thank you for joining us on the Morning Current.
See you later.